Not in your mouth.
Cat hair does get everywhere.
Not in your mouth.
In your mouth, yes, it does, and in
How
your
does it get-
eyes.
Granted, if you're sitting in that chair, you are closer to the ground than normal people.
Do you think like midgets and dwarves and stuff get like more cat hair in their face than normal people?
I want to find a midget and send him an email with the subject line, "Do you get..."
In fact, we should ask. In fact, we could just go on Twitter and ask Wart Davis.
That would be slightly offensive to ask him.
Oh, come on. I've seen some of the shit that he puts up with Ricky Gervais. This would
That's
be tame.
different. He's being paid to be made fun of by Ricky Gervais.
He's
Also, he is not the go-to midget. There is plenty of midgets.
No,
There's plenty of...
he is the go-to midget.
I wonder if he has a cat. You just ask him on
Let's
Twitter,
just ask
"Hey,
him,
Warren,
do you
do you have a cat?"
And if he
And if
responds
he
back
says
with
yes, we'll just naturally assume that he often gets pussy hair in his mouth.
Do you know who apparently doesn't get pussy hair in their mouth?
Gay people?
Judge Dredd. Because apparently he might be gay.
What?
Apparently, the next Judge Dredd comic has been called Closet, and it's tackling issues such as homophobia.
I
And
thought
apparently
Judge Dredd was about Judge Dredd shooting criminals in the face for justice.
That's what I thought. Maybe he's shooting them in the face with something different.
This is not an innuendo podcast.
No, it's not. But yeah, apparently he might be.
Marvel or DC have already done something like this where they had a gay superhero
Yes.
duo, but it was so unpopular they just had to cancel it. It's less about tackling an issue and more about being outrageous.
There is that.
Buy my junk. Oh, and you've just linked me to the Telegraph story. Judge Dredd might be gay.
It's just
Why?
Like, what? Yeah, why?
It might be...
Well, that's not really like you can't really say why. That's like why would anybody?
Do you know they killed off one of the Fantastic Four, and yet they're still called the Fantastic Four?
That's stupid.
It is stupid, but in comic book land, in the same as manga, people don't stay dead. So it doesn't really
It's
matter.
just in a different dimension or universe or timeline or it was all a dream. That's
Yeah, or just there's just some convenient like alternative reality from the future, clone. You know,
Maybe-
take your pick of any convoluted reason to bring someone back when people don't like that they've been killed off.
Maybe people will say the same thing about us one day.
No. Nah, we're all going to die to superbugs. Apparently, I read in the paper that I was reading in the bath.
I'm going to get eaten by a giant super bug.
No, unfortunately, not that dramatic. Just a mutated normal strain of a virus.
Oh, that's boring.
Because antibiotics don't work anymore
I want
because they're all immune to it. So
Yeah,
it's a zombie apocalypse of a sort.
it's because of all these bloody pansies that get all the antibiotics and pills and stuff for the slightest thing.
Oh, it's like me right now. I have a cold, but I'm basically not taking anything for it.
Exactly.
It's fairly stupid, but
Be a
also
man.
fairly clever.
Be a man.
Yeah, let your body naturally fight it off, so then you don't become resistant to antibiotics
Well,
and
I don't-
aspirin and paracetamol.
I generally speaking don't take anything for anything. I just burn through it, and then it means that one day when I do actually need one of these medicines, it might actually be
Do something.
helpful.
It might actually do something, yeah. So you don't take any medicine.
The only medicine I took was those pills for stopping smoking that turned me a bit psychotic.
Nah. What do you mean turned you a bit psychotic? You already were a bit psychotic.
A bit more psychotic.
It also does explain how you got pussy hair in your mouth.
And we're full circle. Hello and welcome to the Brain Go Hurty Gaming Podcast. This is episode 43. It's going to be rife with innuendo by the sounds of it.
No, we got all that out in the intro, plus a lot of stuff we couldn't keep.
Oh, God. There's
Because
a
we
lot
got
of
distracted by an appalling story on a news website.
stuff. Don't read the news. It's
No, don't
it's
read
not
the news.
good. It's
Unless you want to also find funny stories, like Lego being accused of racism via Star Wars, which is one of the other headlines on this website that we ended up on.
How?
Apparently, the Lego miniature for Jabba's palace, complete with carbonite frozen What's his name?
Han Solo. Han Solo.
Han Solo, indeed. It looks identical to the Hagia Sophia Mosque in Istanbul. Now, they've actually put a picture of Jabba's palace in Lego, and then they put a picture of the mosque. They look nothing alike.
No, they don't look anything alike.
They don't look anything alike, apart from maybe kind of like the off-brown colour. But Jabba's palace in the film made 8 years ago had that kind of design.
So why is that racist? Is that because they think they're implying that Turkish people are Hutts?
The Turkish Cultural Community of Austria released a statement calling for Lego to apologise for affronting religious and cultural feelings.
Because Lego, totally.
Is Turkey owned by the Hutts? Have I been mistaking something in the Star Wars films as being fictional when really it was based on real life and the Hutts are a real race ruling Istanbul? Is that why it's not Constantinople anymore?
Is
the Hutts demanded
I think you've just stumbled across the giant conspiracy.
The conspiracy. The Hutts are going to have me murdered now by that bounty hunter.
Frozen in carbonite.
Oh no. What's that bounty hunter's name again?
Boba Fett.
Boba Fett, yeah. See, it's been years since I watched them. I can't remember any of the names.
Blah. Anyway, yes, this is a gaming podcast.
Sorry, I'm getting distracted by the story. It is full of utter nonsense. It's also another reason, apparently, because Jabba the Hutt is a terrorist. So they think that is insensitive as well. A giant frog man who gets strangled by Princess Leia is a terrorist. Aha.
Right.
For the record, he was a gangster.
Shall we move on?
Yeah, let's move on, because that would just make me annoyed.
Let's stay with that.
No, let's not, because I have a cold and I can't stress my voice.
Okay.
Or I'll disappear before we finish.
Normally we start off with what we have been playing.
We do usually, yes. We've been playing quite a bit, or I have, again. Have you?
That
was a wonderful impersonation of Noodles, who's once again no longer with us because he's dead.
Or dancing with girls. Or both.
Or both. Cadavered on the dance floor. That will be a song, possibly by The Darkness, within the next 5 years.
God.
You pick a game to start with.
I have been playing Dungeons of Dreadmore.
Yeah, you've been playing it a lot. And you almost finished it. You almost, and then you get your ass handed to you by Dreadmore.
Yeah, melee builds against Dreadmore are not... They're not very effective, I found out.
What is very funny, though, is you did that, you got to the boss, you were within a ball RC's... What is that saying about being within a hair of something?
Between a gnat's ball hair.
A gnat's ball hair, thank you, of doing it. So you obviously found a build that worked really, really well. The kicker is, you then started again, but you didn't use the same setup. You just decided to go whatever again.
You just completely jumped over the point I made there, that melee builds aren't effective against Dreadmore.
But that doesn't matter, because you poured all your bolts of mass destruction.
I used those. They weren't doing anything to him.
The way I did it was using those squid bolts that do massive poison or whatever. Not poison, but the darkness type damage.
I was launching all sorts of bullshit like that, and it wasn't doing very much. So I thought I'll get in there to melee him a bit, and that wasn't doing very much. And then I died to lightning, mass lightning. Fun.
Yep. So, as per usual, you have not finished Dreadmore.
No, still not.
You have got us addicted to the damn thing.
Yes.
Yeah. I almost gave up on it because of a glitch ruining one of my really good runs. I won't bother going into details.
You did manage to give up for about a day.
It bugged me for a day or two. You were sitting there playing it. And
you're just hearing the...
It's like you're just sitting... You're sitting there sort of tapping your knuckles and just grinding your teeth and thinking... I want to play Dreadmore, but I'm annoyed at it, and then I gave in. So I have been playing it as well. I haven't played it for a couple of days, mind you.
You've got an illness. Neither have I.
It's almost like overcoming an addiction.
Yeah, just by replacing it with another addiction.
Like whatever that noise was just now.
Laptop loading up.
Okay. Do you have any thoughts on Dreadmore other than...
I enjoy it, but I don't like sometimes that there's too many items, maybe too... Obviously, too many skills and stuff. I think it's just more the items that annoys me a bit.
A class where you can buy upgrades to your inventory space might be quite good.
That would be.
That would have been something the tourist tree could have had.
You could have had the luggage from the Discord.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, why not?
That's how I was.
But of course, now if you have that new wizard expansion, you can technically use your wizard area as a portable
Apparently
inventory
so,
space.
yeah. You can just go and dump everything there.
Space. So that's technically a way around that. So shall I pick something now?
Yeah.
We both played Rocksmith together.
We did.
And we kind of found some issues with the co-op as a result, because I'm not playing the same version as you. I'm playing it on PC.
Yes.
There's no way for the game to know that I've progressed, or I had to use your girlfriend's Xbox account, which had nothing unlocked. Which, it isn't so bad, because you can play a song once and then it'll realise, hang on, you know the notes, so it'll put most of them in, if not all of them. The problem was, you have to do some of it's not story mode, but career mode, where you have to play set lists to unlock amps, and you need certain amps and effects so your instrument sounds like it should in the song.
But it gives you them by default when you're playing through the career mode. That's what I don't get.
Exactly, that is bizarre. So it was very annoying, like we wanted to play a song in which the bass has heavy distortion, but it didn't unlock the amp for me. So it played normal, and it sounded totally wrong.
It's a bit of a bummer.
It is, especially since you can't get off your arse now to unlock it for me.
Why the fuck would I play bass?
There's nothing wrong with bass. It's a stereotype.
It's not a stereotype.
It is a stereotype. The stereotypes for bass players is that they're bored and don't get laid.
Bass players are just either failed guitarists or guitarists with one too few fingers.
No.
Like you've had some sort of horrible accident. So
I have all my fingers, and I used... No, wait, that sounds wrong. Never mind. You almost got me there.
Back full circle again. It's good fun. It's even more fun when you've got two people playing, and I suppose, with stuff unlocked.
Besides that one thing.
It won't take too long to get that sort of nonsense unlocked.
Plus, all the good songs are DLC, and it's very expensive. That's why I'm Scottish. I'm going to moan every time we talk about Rocksmith that the DLC, which I have bought some of, is bloody annoying.
But worth it.
But worth it, because I like the songs, and I like learning the official tabs.
There is that too.
Although you'd always have to get over if you've been learning simplistic tabular.
Oh, sometimes
having a totally different, albeit more efficient and correct way to play. You have to get used to it.
There is that.
Yeah.
I still have problems for some songs that I already knew how to play that I can't. The game hasn't necessarily understood how far through the song I should know, etc. And also it doesn't. I can't read it coming down the screen. I can't read the game's version of tab fast enough to pick it up. So
for the faster songs.
So what I do is I just close my eyes and play the song that way.
That's cheating.
What's not cheating?
It is cheating.
It's not cheating. I'm just playing with my eyes closed. It'd be like doing a speed run of Mario with your eyes closed. It's not cheating.
That's been done.
Yeah, probably has.
It has been done.
It has been done.
Mm-hmm.
Was it somebody No, I'm not even going to go there.
Were you going to be racist and say, was it someone from Japan?
No.
Because it was, for the record.
They do all the speedruns, though.
They are very into being uber at games, yes. Like someone doing Dark Souls in under 2 hours or an hour, whatever it was. I watched that. It was unbelievable.
It's just
without dying as well.
But why?
Well, without dying other than on purpose, I mean.
Anyway.
Yes, anyway, move on, pick another game.
But you are glad that you got coerced into buying Rocksmith in the end, then?
Yes, I am enjoying playing it. It's encouraging me to play my bass more, because usually I just once in a while.
Yeah.
Whereas now I have constantly got sore fingers and calluses from playing it so much.
Excellent.
Yes, excellent.
But it does help improve technique and gets you to learn some songs you might not otherwise have learned, and techniques from those songs, etc. And
yeah, from yesteryear, from the 80s and stuff like that.
Some good stuff. Some of it's pish. Anyway, so we played Rocksmith. I have been doing XCOM again.
Yes, you have.
I've replaced my Dreadmore crack with XCOM heroin.
And you had to start over because you let too much of the world get overrun by aliens.
I didn't realise sort of how quickly that all kind of kicked off. I didn't really have that many satellites up, keeping down the panic levels of all the countries. So I only had something like 4 satellites up by about, well, you said it was about halfway through the game or something.
Roughly, from what I could remember, yeah.
4 satellites out of 12 that you... No, 16 I think it is.
16. I'm not quite sure how, unless you were playing on harder than normal difficulty, because I didn't have many satellites either until endgame. And I only lost about 2 countries overall.
No idea. Maybe it's just, as you say, a lot of it's just down to luck.
Oh, plus it is random missions you get, yeah.
I've sort of started over again. And
but you're still enjoying it even though you started over.
Yeah. I've being able to properly organise the base so I make maximum efficiency of where stuff is getting built rather than putting
power generators next to each other, etc. Not just everything willy-nilly.
Making sure that the sewage room and the spa weren't right next door to each other, and the dungeon and the reception weren't next to each other, that sort of thing.
You had your sewage room next to your shower room?
Yeah.
And you wondered why there was an outbreak of an infection among your soldiers?
This isn't real for anybody that hasn't played the game. These are all make-believe.
Yeah, it is. You have to do feng shui in dorm rooms and the soldiers' barracks. You have to make decoupage displays for them.
You're not right in the head.
I know. My turn to pick something.
Yes.
I have been playing a little bit more of Torchlight 2. Yeah. It still hasn't managed to evoke that addictive quality that even Diablo 3 managed on its first playthrough. So I'm just kind of doing a little bit here and there if I'm bored. It doesn't help that I'm playing it alone, though, I suppose. But
there is that, but
still not finding it even as good as Diablo 3 was before finishing that first playthrough.
I'm not really, considering buying it or anything because it just.
I got it when it was Christmas sale. Paid nothing for it, so it doesn't really matter if I don't play that much for the price I paid for it anyway.
That's good.
So yeah, I have been playing a little bit of that, but
nothing really works.
It doesn't even fall into the Surite right now. It's kind of just meh.
It's just bleh.
It's meh, which is 1 or 2 below Surite and 1 or 2 above, which is where Max Payne 3 is. But you can pick another game first if you want.
I don't have another game. Those are the only games I've been playing.
Nothing on your phone?
Nope. The only other thing is the Dead Space 3 demo that we played.
Oh, see, I totally forgot about that, and it's not on my list.
That's the only other thing. We played Dead Space 3. It seems so right-ish. It seems so far like maybe a little bit better than Resident Evil, but the hitbox detection is a bit iffy.
It's better than Resident Evil 6, but it's also very Resident Evil 6-ish.
Yes, it is.
Which is a problem because that's terrible. I didn't mind the demo much at first, but that last section of it was terrible.
You don't want to go through all of that all over again.
What
Potentially.
I do like is that it's a drop-in co-op in terms of the story as well, so you can play it as a solo, slightly more horror-y experience.
Horror-y?
Horror-y.
Horror-y. Just making up words again.
Yes, I am. I can do that if I want. So yeah, if you're playing co-op, the other person will be there as whoever. We don't even know what the other guy's name is.
Is
I don't think
Johnny Redshirt.
I don't think he even said it in the demo, so we've got no way of knowing. But yeah, so if you're playing co-op, he'll be there, and then you get additional conversations and whatnot, but otherwise you're just Isaac alone, which would create a bit more of a feeling of isolation, which I imagine would make it feel more like a horror game, rather than the kind of Resident Evil 6 shooty stuff we did.
A bit of sort of action-y, really, wasn't it? It was sort of...
Yeah, and as I understand it, it's meant to be more horror-based, and I didn't really get that vibe from it.
Apparently, as the series has gone on, it's become slightly less so. The first one apparently is, true to being more a horror game than an action game.
Maybe that's because traditional horror games are dead. Don't know. Unless you go look in the indie direction.
Somebody needs to do something about that.
Or somebody buy us a dev kit. Buy us a whole team of people that will work for free. Do everything for us, and then we might.
Let's do that. Let's do that.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that.
Well, that's what you need to do is do a Kickstarter. That's it. You just do a Kickstarter, say we want X amount of £1 million or dollars. No, I don't want dollars.
No, pounds. We want real money.
We want real money to fund it. But not only do you then need to buy, managers and developers and programmers and writers and that sort of bullshit.
Talent.
And talent, yeah. By talent, we're just there to do what? Just ensure that it happens.
We're there to walk in and say, I want so-and-so, and they're there to do it.
And then the next day, change your mind entirely, and then walk out while eating.
And then get angry at them when they complain about it. And then we call ourselves EA2.
And then, like, smack them like that Batman scene. Where people have used it to go, it's snowing outside, and it's Batman, like, smacking this guy. I can see out the window, damn it.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but it sounds funny.
I'll
Don't try and look for
it. No, I found it already.
How the hell did you find it that quickly?
Because I know exactly what I'm looking for.
Even with the power of Google, that was impressive. That was like, you didn't miss a beat. You must have been looking prior to seeing it.
Nope, definitely not.
Is this a picture or a movie? Because if it's a movie, I can't really play it right now.
No, it's a picture. It's just a picture.
All right, it's a picture right now. Okay.
From the original sort of comic strip sort of things.
Oh, I'm not going to lie. The man in the grey flannel suits, Facebook, you will like it and share every post. All right, so it's a picture. It's a picture taken from a comic that people just use to put different text in other words.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's a picture of Batman slapping Robin.
There are some better ones than that. Have a look at that one, for example.
Okay, let me see this one. I'm not going to... No, hang on, that loaded the same thing.
It says, hey Batman, what are your parents getting you for Christmas? And he says, my parents are dead!
That is a good one. Yeah. He looks more like, not like a bat with that shape of hood in those old comics.
He looks like...
A cat?
No. Looks just like Adam West in those pictures, do you not think?
Yes, but that's because the Adam West Batman was based on that. That's why.
Yes!
So that's good.
Adam West has a funny shaped head. Moving on.
So I'm having to pick games still because you've not played anything else.
No.
Yes, you have. We played a bit of Assassin's Creed 3.
Yeah, not enough.
A little bit. Not really, because it was having issues.
Yes, it was.
There didn't seem to be our end this time. It's just struggling to get a game.
It's Ubisoft in general.
It doesn't help that now that DLC is out, it's segmented people because you can't search for people who don't have the DLC.
Which is annoying.
Yeah, so we've bought the DLC, but if we want to have a good chance of finding a game, we have to use the playlist where we'd only get access to the new skins, not the new maps.
Yep.
And once the next pack comes out, it'll segment even more.
That's stupid.
Speaking of which, the first George Washington single-player DLC is coming out soon. Part 1 is £10.
It's supposed to be like evil George Washington or something, isn't
it?
It's
where he declares himself king rather than making America constitution, etc. Yeah, so it's £10 for Part 1, and there's meant to be 3 parts, so I think I'll be passing for the price alone.
That's pretty steep.
Yeah, plus I didn't enjoy the main story that much anyway, so...
Still haven't finished it.
I still haven't played it.
We're back into the
Christmas?
Whole... What games has Blighty not played or since Christmas, or to be more precise, not finished yet? They're still on his list. Let's see. Space Marine, that's still on there. The Black Ops 2 campaign, still haven't finished through that.
Yep.
Assassin's Creed
3. Halo 4? Oh no, we did that together. Never mind.
We haven't finished off all the Spartan Ops things because it was...
No, I did those myself.
Oh.
Although a new episode just came out, but I think it's pay for, so no. Yeah. Like I knew it would. Like Spartan Ops, it's just a gauntlet. Every stage is the same. It's very boring. Yeah. I'm not sure why they're bothering with it at all.
Stupid.
Yep.
Money grab.
We do have the Borderlands 2 DLC to do.
There's that.
Which we will be starting. We had to wait because someone had to wait until they were paid.
I got paid today.
You did, indeed. So we're probably going to do a playthrough of it. Oh. I bet we'll do all the side quests. Yeah.
Oh.
For lack of anything better, we might as well.
Fair enough. What else have you been playing?
Have actually been playing rather than going to play or have not played yet.
Yes.
Max Payne 3, I mentioned that earlier.
Oh, yeah.
I've managed to suffer through a bit more of it. It's still very boring. It's still got incredibly bad ragdolling. One thing I forgot to complain about last time, which is actually quite funny at certain points, is either Max himself or characters you're with constantly harass you to get your arse in gear and move. Yep. But it's not like a minute after you've looked around, so it's trying to help you along with where you're supposed to go. It's literally seconds of standing still. You'll quickly say, oh, I better go get that girl. Or, he moved on, I probably shouldn't be standing here. And it keeps on doing it. It discourages exploration and collectible hunting, and is incredibly annoying along with everything else. It's
you feel like you're being pressured into it, like a kid at school being forced a cigarette.
There's one especially bad bit that's actually now a bit of a meme, because I remember seeing a video of this. There's a point where someone is giving cover fire so you can move up on where a sniper is. And the most obvious route to the sniper is up to some stairs to a door. And if you run up to the door, you find, no, you're not actually supposed to go there. He wants you to circle around, because through the door is where you go next. But if you stay at the door, the other guy will constantly shout at you, no, not there, the stairs, no, round the side, Max, not there, not the stairs, go up the stairs, Max, not there, the stairs, the side.
Jackal.
He would just, without any breaks, he would just keep on shouting, don't go up the stairs, Max, don't. And he would... So someone posted a video of proving that the harassment was annoying. It's just Max standing at the top of the stairs while the guy shouts at him over and over.
Poor game.
And that isn't edited at all. It is actually, I accidentally did it just the other night there when I was playing a bit more of it. It is poor design. It's amazing that kind of thing slipped through QA. Like, no one said, hey, maybe not make the characters harass you so much so they can look around the scenery and enjoy the game. Or, hey,
maybe the intent is that they
maybe
don't
not be so boring.
Maybe they don't want people to do that. Maybe they want to force people into being felt like, the pace has to be faster, and so they're manufacturing faster pace by prompting you to keep moving all the time.
If they wanted to do it that way, they should have just had Max insult you.
Hey, cocksmoke, keep moving.
Hey, dipshit, stop standing still.
I can see your cock. Put that away and pick up the controller.
Stop masturbating to my ass and move me to the next room.
Sexily.
That's a way to get somebody moving. It'd work. It'd be slightly less annoying than what they went with, that's for damn sure. So yeah, I'm still suffering.
See, on that subject, it does make me wonder how much time was spent back in the olden days of people sitting looking at Lara Croft just standing there, just moving the camera around behind her ass.
Looking at those 4 pixels that made up the entirety of her backside. Those 4 pixels, man. Wow. You can never forget a pixelated ass. That can go in a t-shirt. That is a t-shirt quote right there.
Ah, dear.
With a picture of Princess Peach. No, it'll get you arrested. I don't know what age Princess Peach is, but she looks underage, so don't risk it, people.
No, because Mario's got a tash, right? So unless he's...
So, people are like 14 get tashes.
Not like his. Surely not.
Okay, his is stuck on, I think. Because find a picture of Mario without his mustache on, and he looks the same as he does in those games where he was a baby. There's no difference, just the mustache. And maybe a smaller hat. Mario is 2 years old.
2 years old? That's
Are you typing that into Google to see if I'm right?
No, there are image results come back from... he looks... Yeah, he does actually.
Oh, you've typed in Mario without a mustache to see if I'm right. I knew
people have edited it out. It's creepy. It's creepy as fuck. Oh, that's not right.
Everybody else Google it so they know what they're talking about. So 2 games left on my list. I've been playing Phantasy Star Online 2. Did you know that? I can't remember if I told you or not.
You had hinted. It was.
I hinted I was going to. It is free to play, but it is also only out in Japan, and there was rumours of it being brought out elsewhere, but they've kind of been squashed now for some reason. Maybe it's not doing well enough, I don't know, or maybe they just think it won't sell well to a Western audience, which I'd be inclined to agree with, actually. For being free, I enjoyed it, but I liked all the other Phantasy Star Online games on the Dreamcast. I'm playing 56K Phantasy Star Online.
That was good fun. Enjoy playing the PC version that was essentially free to play as well. So wait, is this obviously on PlayStation only or something?
No, it's on PC.
On PC.
It's on PC,
but it's all in JP only.
Most of it is in Japanese, but I have got English patch which translates all the menus for you and some of the main plot.
All right, okay.
Just so basically you know what you're doing. It doesn't take too much thinking to get used to all the stuff. So yeah, if anyone likes it, just go. There's tons of guides online about how to sign up. You just need a Sega ID. You don't even need to trick it into thinking you're in Japan. You just need to make one.
Huh.
The download for it is about 6 gig, I think it was.
Oof.
It's quite big. So yeah, it's all right.
Is it just more of the same, or?
It's pretty much more of the same, yeah. I think to get your own personal room, you need to pay. To get special bonuses, you need to pay. Some abilities or pay for, but other than that, you get everything you find. Weapons, you can equip them all. You're not locked out, other than by your class. You get advanced classes now at a certain level. The mags are still in it. That's the little pet thing you feed items to.
Yeah. They get different special powers.
And it still has all the same kind of weapons and fancy ass armors. Those weird rappy yellow bird things look a bit like the parrot version of a prinny, I guess.
Somewhere between a prinny and a diggle. That's the word I was looking for. Trying not to say diglet.
Diglet. It's very hard not to say diglet when you mean diggle. I'm not sure if this... too much innuendo. This is not an 80s porno. The last thing that I have been playing is Guild Wars 2. I went back to that, started a fresh character because a couple of friends of mine have picked it up. So I'm actually getting to experience it with friends now, rather than playing it all my lonesome, being an antisocial, normal person.
Well, I would, but...
you don't have the time.
I don't. I really don't. I'm fast running out of time.
Yes.
Fred's gonna kill himself. I'm gonna fucking do it, Shaggy.
What?
Never mind.
Oh, that's from that video. Yes, I remember. Never mind. So that is the last thing I've played, but I do have one thing on the soon-to-play list.
Soon-to-play list?
The soon-to-play list. Because someone gifted me a game on Steam.
Oh. It wasn't
someone
me?
Who said... No, it wasn't you. Someone who said they were a fan.
Oh. What the fuck are fans doing gifting you shit?
Because they like me best, clearly.
They don't.
I won't say their full name, but their first name is Alexander. So thank you very much for that, Alexander. He has gifted me Dota 2.
Huh.
Which I have not tried yet because I have not had time. His Steam name is the Metal Arse. Trademarked, apparently. So no one else can use the name the Metal Arse.
They need to pay him royalties for that.
Yeah, if you use the name the Metal Arse, you owe him royalties or he'll sue you. So yeah, I haven't tried it yet. I know the history of it, that it's based on a Warcraft 3 mod. It's very popular.
Yeah.
It doesn't quite have the same stigma that League of Legends and Heroes of something, whatever else, the imitators of Dota have about having such appalling players.
It seems to be like such a big deal as well, that the player base is toxic, as they call it.
Yes, toxic is the way they say it, and they've been banning like really well-known players for being toxic. And good on them. I'm surprised they had the balls. Because it isn't just like elitists all talking shit at each other. It's hating on new players just because they don't know what they're doing. It's how dare you not know how to play a game you've just installed?
How dare you be new to this game?
Go kill yourself.
How dare you be new to this game? You should have been playing this game for 50 years already.
Yeah, if you've not played more than 100 games of this, you deserve to get cancer. I'm paraphrasing what has probably been said numerous times on that game.
What gets me, right, is that how is it that there are so many games like this, like multiplayer games, and role-playing is quite a big one, MMOs, I suppose, right, where they haven't figured out the best way to stop people from being dicks is to force them to need to cooperate. Like, if you were Dick on Final Fantasy XI, right?
Oh, that's the example you always use.
Yes, it's the example I always use because it worked. If you were a Dick, you didn't get a party. Didn't get a party, you didn't get XP. Didn't get XP, you might as well quit the game because you weren't doing anything.
Technically, the Guild Wars 2 system is also a good one where you can't really impact another player's enjoyment because you have your own crafting resources. You have killing an enemy gets each of you the same XP.
But that doesn't prevent you from spamming in the chat, hey, little, sit here and talk about dicks.
Talk about dicks. Yeah, so let's not talk about the ones with the bad reputation. Hopefully Dota 2 will not, and I will try and get around to it, but as I say, I'm playing Phantasy Star, I'm playing Guild Wars, I'm still suffering through Max Payne, and then I've got Sleeping Dogs on the list after that from Christmas.
And potentially coming up, we have Aliens Colonial Marines as well.
That is out it's either just under or just over 2 weeks from the day we're recording this.
It's out on the 12th of February. And we haven't decided what platform to get it for.
Oh no, you want to have a semi-live debate?
No,
which system we're going to get it on.
I'm just saying that,
I think it's being optimized for consoles. I think it might be easier to play online on PC.
True.
But my phone just went off and totally broke my chain of thought there.
Just start going.
That's how easily I'm distracted. I will give a shout out to MM1D2 for saying, hey, how are you? There you go.
How are you? How are you?
I am cold. I am having a cold right now.
I am from Latin. You need a strong man.
I am actually going to reply saying I am recording a podcast.
As we
for posterity. Well, I said the right word that time.
Yes, I'm not fussed either way. I have my doubts the PC will run it effectively.
That's also another thing.
There is that.
I don't really care as long as it has the noise. The assault rifle noise. So that's pretty much all the game is to me, is the assault rifle noise. The
only thing that I'm not too keen on is, I don't know if you saw the new trailer for it.
I haven't watched any trailers for it.
Oh, that's all right then. The first sort of trailer that I saw for it was very sort of dark and moody, and
I did watch the E3 playthrough. So.
But then the one that came out recently, it's all sort of done some macho Gears-ish style, and it's all like, you're going to be this is the competition to be the baddest motherfucker around sort of thing. It's all done like, the sort of Sarge is like doing a pep talk for, you going in, and it's all like brofest and stuff.
Is this for the multiplayer mode though, or for?
No, it was just a trailer. But the previous one was all nice and dark, and it was all like aliens coming out of the shadows and blah 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 blah. But this one, not so.
Yeah,
but
maybe it's just are really bad for the macho bullshit. It could just ruin a lot of their games with that.
It could just be that they're attempting to cater to more audiences. I mean,
no. Say what you really mean. Cater to Americans.
Well, there's that, but like I was meaning more like younger people that might not necessarily be that familiar with the Alien films. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I don't know whether or not it's had as much screenplay and stuff these days as maybe when we were younger.
It's interesting you bring that up because I was going to talk. Did you see what's his name? Alec McGee, the guy who did the
American
Alice in Wonderland. American. Is his first name really American?
Is he actually American? Is it America? It's America.
Is he one of those people, America McGee? His first name is America McGee.
It's America McGee.
It sounds like an Irishman.
American? No, it's American.
America. Either way, did you see his quote, let's say, about EA? But he then kind of restated it. He said that they lied when they marketed his Alice games as being more horror-orientated than they were. He did actually use the word lie. He then probably realised that that's quite slanderous to say that. So what he did was he said the exact same thing again, but in a far more legally friendly manner. He said, I think I can quote him exactly. I think he said something like, EA used authentic, established marketing methods. Something along those lines. He called it a marketing method. So he was still saying they lied about what the game was like because they knew it would make it sell more.
Yeah.
So possibly Gearbox is thinking, not a lot of people want a kind of semi-scary Left 4 Dead-y alien game. Let's market it as a macho bullshit game because more people will buy it.
That's maybe...
That logic might work had Bulletstorm not sold so badly because people triumphed in that situation.
It's weird because he's had quite a strange career. I mean, it's not like that was his first thing. I mean, he started off working for ID.
He worked for ID?
Yeah, he worked for ID. He did stuff on like Quake and Doom as well, if I remember right.
I quite like the look of the Alice games in terms of like he was going for a very unique take on it, a very dark and grim, not necessarily horror, more psychedelic grim. It was quite like the look of.
Yes, they definitely had that Tim Burton sort of feel to it.
Yeah,
but then even darker. But Tim Burton like slightly pushed over the edge sort of feel. I only played the first one. I think it was actually
I didn't even play it.
A crack of the first one. Somebody had it on a disc. This was a long time ago.
Yeah, it's not a game I would have gone out my way to play, but it did interest me. Let's say both of them did, in fact.
But
I'll be a reply on Twitter.
Really? Great.
Sadly,
when do you fancy visiting Portugal?
I am from Latin.
So,
that is my answer to that.
Going all the way back, then yes, I'm hoping for Aliens Colonial Marines soon, and for it to be good. And so maybe
you're hoping for it soon. We know it's out soon.
I'm
it's out
hoping
in
for
2
it soon.
weeks.
I mean, for it to like arrive, etc.
No, you hope for it not to suck.
Yeah,
I hope it doesn't.
I think
we need a good game to play co-op.
Yeah, I think we've kind of been let down by kind of sucky games lately for co-op and stuff, and we need something good, something fun.
Yeah, because even the DLC for Borderlands 2 won't live up to how fun the main story was. Well, we've seen that. Next time we might be saying, oh, wow, that latest DLC was amazing. I don't think we will, but we might.
Watch this.
I mean, Hammerlock's quite a funny character, and it's about him. So,
true.
Shall we move on?
Yes, let's do.
To what? Do you even have a list? Do you have a list?
Yeah, I have more some stuff. More some stuff.
I have more some stuff too.
On the subject of trailers, the Elder Scrolls Online had a cinematic trailer.
Yeah, it did.
Which I now consider to be the bar for any future cinematic trailer for any game ever.
Cinematic trailers are bad.
Yes, because there's no gameplay, but on the flip side, it's a very good trailer. No, sorry. It's a very good cutscene there.
Okay, it's a very good cutscene.
Yes.
I'm being slightly hypocritical because I did it also very much like the Dead Island cinematic trailer. But that was as a short bit film, not as anything to do with the game. I liked it as telling a little story in 2.5 minutes.
It's a promotional technique. Let's start using the corporate jargon.
So it made you want to play Elder Scrolls Online, even though it didn't really say anything about it?
No, it didn't. I'm not saying that makes me want to play the game any more or less than I would have, but it's quite a long trailer for a start, and it's like lots of
4.5 minutes or something.
It's about 5 minutes long with lots of different sort of fight sequences and some interesting ideas that obviously won't find their way into the game and be realistic. But
those ideas are really good. They're not in the game.
But it's like. It's just like watching like a little snippet from like a short, movie trailer, I suppose. Well, a long movie trailer, really. But no, it was good. I enjoyed that.
We have both signed up for the open beta now, which everyone else can as well. Just go to their website.
There is that, yes.
Yep, I know nothing about I know there's 3 factions, but I couldn't tell you what any of them are.
You've got the Dominion. You've got
the whatchamacallit Dominion. Those guys are dicks.
You've got you've got the Hoojamabob.
No, they raped their sisters. No, move on. Third one.
And the Doohickories.
Oh, Doohickories, yes, absolutely. They kill people.
I can't remember what their names are. I can remember that one of them's got Dominion in it. I can't.
Dominion Doohickories.
Yeah, the LV ones and stuff.
The LV Doohickory, whatever else you said.
Yes. It might be good. It might also be shit.
It might, or it might just not transfer well to MMO style. It won't quite be the co-op Skyrim or Oblivion that we wanted.
I'm liking the whole 3-way system, the same as Dark Age of Camelot.
I'm liking the whole 3-way system. Pause. New subject.
Too much innuendo.
Aha. I would just like to put out there that Project X Zone for the 3DS is now coming to Europe and America. That is the Namco Bandai, Capcom, whoever else game I told you about a few podcasts ago, which has characters from absolutely pretty much every franchise they own. Resident Evil, Devil May Cry, Resonance of Fate, everything. Tekken, Street Fighter.
Lots.
Yes. It is annoying that they would listen to fans and bring that out, and yet we won't see Valkyria Chronicles 3 come out, which is a Sega game. So that just shows you Sega and Phantasy Star Online 2, possibly. So Sega just doesn't seem to care about the Western audience right now.
They're doing things differently, that's for sure.
They're too busy performing fellatio on Nintendo.
Did Sega not...
That's a Kotaku headline waiting to happen.
Sega performs...
Does Sega perform fellatio on Nintendo? We ask ourselves with a question mark to invoke lots of comments and views.
You can just see somebody drawing off a picture of Sonic giving Mario a blowjob. It's just not...
It exists. Rule 34.
Oh,
it
yeah.
Exists, more of it.
I wonder whether or not what resulted of the THQ buyout. That's something that's in my list of topics.
Oh, I did get some of the notes about that.
So I got a few bits and pieces, but if you want to reel it off, you've probably got a more comprehensive list of what.
I only took the one that kind of mattered to us in terms of the franchises Relic owned that we cared about.
Okay.
Sorry, well, THQ, but Relic is a subsidiary of THQ, which was sold off. Sega bought them.
Yep, which
so
is good.
They're going to drag Relic to Japan, and then we'll never see a Western game released by them again. Yeah, so
it could have been worse. It could have been EA. It could have been EA. Like it sounded like
true.
It was going to be.
So Sega bought Relic for $26 million, which gives them the Dawn of War Warhammer 40,000 license. So that might mean a Total War
and Space Marine as well.
Game. Well, and Space Marine game might be possible. I can't remember what else Relic has done recently. There were some really... Do you have the rest of the bits? Because I remember reading them. There were some really weird ones. Like, where the hell did some of these companies get all this money? Was my reaction to some of them.
Well, one of them is that the people behind Dead Rising. Not Dead Rising, Dead Island. What's this? Dead Rising.
Deep Silver or whoever, their parent company. What did they buy again? You made it sound like you had the list.
I thought I did, but I had it stored on a webpage and I've lost it. Anyway, somebody bought something.
Somebody did buy something. The Saints Row license was bought the Metro one and...
WWE one.
Yeah, there was two licenses that nobody wanted. Just don't care about it.
Because Metro flopped.
Darksiders. No, Darksiders, that was the other one.
It was a wrestling one as well that I don't think anybody bought.
So, yeah, the chances of seeing a Darksiders 3 at the moment... What they should do is do a Kickstarter for a license that didn't sell.
That's a good idea.
No, an eBay auction, not a Kickstarter. That wouldn't make sense. Kind of like eBay auction. Pay us what you like, and you will own this franchise. Then you can try and make a game of it, and we wouldn't be able to sue you.
It's an interesting idea.
Make Darksiders 3 in 16-bit. It might work. Call it an indie game, and people would buy it.
Call anything an indie game. Just say, it's a bit shit, right? We'll call it an indie game and it'll sell well. That's... Let's move on.
Let's move on. We never did talk about the Space Hulk 2013 remake. I can't remember which company is handling that. I don't think it was Relic, though.
Is it not just like being like
just
an iOS sort of game, though, isn't it? Or was it a full...
I think so. It does mention that it has a co-op mode, though. Which I don't think it originally had when it was released back in the 90s. The original Space Hulk, it was a long time ago. One negative I noticed, though, well, A, the 2013 remake trailer is pretty crappy quality CG, and 2, it lists DLC as a feature, which is it's a really stupid thing to do that a lot of companies do. DLC is not a feature. Don't try and market it as that, you pricks.
Yeah, it's
an attempt to do something enough times that people will believe it. Yeah, DLC is a good thing. DLC is a good thing. DLC is a good thing.
Ram it in your throat enough times.
Just capitulate and think, yes, DLC is a good thing.
Yeah.
I can't wait for more DLC.
Full Control is the developer. Turn-based strategy game.
A well-known company, Full Control.
Designed to closely mimic the action of the board game itself.
the really old Space Hulk board game.
Cross-platform multiplayer with Mac and iOS versions.
Hang on, what's the difference between Mac and iOS?
Well, Mac will be the desktop, but iOS will be like your phone or your
iOS? iOS, you say. Moving on, we have some emails that we should probably cover.
I'm going to go in order of when I received them, just because. No, if I should actually just go in some random order just to piss you off, but that would be too complicated. That
will annoy me. Please do them in the order you received them.
So the first email was received from Rory Wood. Hello, Flik and Batman. How are you today?
I have a cold.
I have cold feet. I've been outside in the snow with just slippers.
It has been snowing,
so they got wet, so I had to change my feet. Yeah, anyway. How do you feel about HMV?
You changed your feet.
For fuck's sake! How do you feel
changed your feet.
How do you feel? I'm not doing this.
You don't need to edit that.
Nope, not doing it. Nope.
How do I feel about HMV?
How do you feel about HMV going into administration?
I'm a little sad that another place has gone into administration. Lots of people will lose their jobs. I don't particularly like HMV because their music is always too loud. And they keep on hiding the anime section.
They do keep moving it around, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. They started pissing me off so much I didn't bother looking for it.
I can never actually find...
And their Japanese movie section.
I can never actually find any CDs that I'm looking for in there. Like, anything I want, it's not there. It's all online. The store doesn't cater to broad enough. Like, I went looking for a particular Eagles of Death Metal album, and I couldn't find any one of their, 4 or 5 albums there. But there were, 40 copies of the latest One Direction album, all stacked up, one on top of another. And that was within the alphabetical section, not within the singles or the album chart or anything. So they must have had hundreds of copies of it because they know it sells, etc. But that's not the old days when you went into a record shop and it was about having a wide variety. I was about to say wide variety there.
Yeah, wide variety.
A wide variety.
You've been drinking, so it's okay.
I have been drinking.
I'm not as think as you drunk I am.
Exactly. I've got a shot glass that says that on it.
I copyrighted that sentence. You owe me money.
My shot glass owes you money. Yeah, so you used to be all about having the variety of stuff that you could access, and now it's you go in and
music or bust.
Pretty much. So it sucks. So I don't really care so much, other than the fact that we do a little bit of last minute Christmas shopping in there. Which
surely
we will
you care about all the poor souls who are now unemployed, though.
Well, on that subject, my brother lost his job because
we mentioned that last time.
Went into administration, so you don't hear people caring much about Jessos because they're a little bit less known than HMV, and less people go in there because it's more niche. So
that was my phone. Carry on talking.
Fuck them. Are you going to get one of the collector's edition versions of Ninja Storm 3?
Am I going to get what version? Sorry.
One of the collector's edition versions.
Oh, yes, I am.
He says Will of Fire edition or True Despair edition.
The Will of Fire one, because Sasuke is a bitch.
I haven't really looked into it, so...
The two versions are basically the same, other than the Fire edition is Naruto-themed and has all the heroes on it. The other one, the Despair edition, is all the villains. And they come with a statue of either Naruto or Sasuke. Both of them come with a code to get Naruto in Goku's costume.
Oh, yes.
Which is very funny,
I saw that
because when he does the Rasengans, he does them as Kamehamehas, which is very amusing. Kishimoto start of March.
Oh,
Kishimoto always claims that Dragon Ball Z is a very big influence in Naruto, and it's very obvious.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's very nice that he's been able to get that in there. I think he's probably, what's his name? Akira Toriyama is probably a fan of Naruto as well.
So there you go. I might get the game. I don't know whether or not I'll fork out if one of these collector's editions is markedly more expensive. I don't know, but
I don't know price-wise. Actually, I haven't looked into that yet. I would hope not. The last one, Generations, had a special edition that wasn't much more expensive. It didn't add as much, mind you. It never had a statue. So,
What are you going to do with a statue? What would I do with a statue?
What is a little disappointing is that just earlier today, there's going to be a bunch of costume DLC for it, and one of them is the various female characters in a swimsuit, and that's just, just why do that? Well, no, I know why do that, but why degrade yourself?
You're saying don't do that. Don't be that guy. Nobody
I don't mean why do that. I mean don't do that. Don't do that.
Bad monkey.
Bad.
So, thank you, Rory Wood, for your email. Rory is fast becoming a regular.
Yeah.
In fact, it does seem, going back through some of the emails, he has taken over from Noodles.
Tragic accident in which Noodles became a burn victim and fell in love with himself.
Shall we move on?
I think we better.
On to our next email. This one is from Slimaz. Slime Ass.
We have actually. Yeah, we have.
I managed to pronounce his proper name the last time. I'm not going to try and cock it up this time or give it out this time because
just in case you do it wrong.
Yeah, well, no, because he's given his internet pseudonym, which I will run with. So that's
pseudonym,
fine.
Pseudonym.
It's titled A Question. Also, Noodles Loves Burns Victims Spicy Edition. That's
it's true, he does.
That's the
but
title.
He is now a spicy burn victim. So he loves himself, and that's why he never leaves his room.
God. Whenever you're quite finished.
Sorry.
Good morrow, gentlemen of the Brain Go Hurty podcast. Yes, this includes Noodles. If he is on this episode, I hope you find yourselves in a state of good health and fortune, as I find myself with a perplexing matter. So far, you're saying no to pretty much every single bit of this.
Well, that's because it's true. I can't lie. I can't lie to the guy.
I can't lie to people on the internet. No. You see, one night I was discussing the release of a game in the near future with a friend, one that I'm a particular fan of. I'm assuming he means the game, not his friend, but to the point that I have...
Heard it here first.
To the point that I have 100%... Oh, yeah, he means 100% completed both the previous installments of the game in terms of achievements. The game in question was Dead Space 3. I was discussing which edition of the game I would pre-order, and being a fan of the series, I was tempted to see if they would put out a collector's edition. Lo and behold, they did, referred to as the Dev Team Edition. It comes with various items such as a marker statue, mini art book, medkit water bottle, and other things, just to name a few. I was very inclined towards buying the product. However, being a student with little income, I decided it would be more sensible not to throw away money at such a luxury.
That is very sensible. Well done. Also, it's not just students now. Everybody's
Scottish people.
Or Scottish people in general, yeah.
This leads me to question what makes people want to spend money on collectors or special editions of games that run up to anywhere around £200 or whatever the currency is for other countries.
Oh, yeah.
Is it...
sorry.
Is it support for their favourite developers, the chance to own exclusive memorabilia, or just pure obsession of a franchise? So what I ask is, have you two or three ever bought or would ever buy these kind of editions? And if you have in the past, how you felt after the purchase and whether you thought it was worth the money? There's more after that, but I'll let you answer.
Okay, right.
First.
I think you kind of covered the three main bases of the reasons why people do it. There, I think it's a mixture of all three, or sometimes just one of the three. Support, or they just want the fanciness that comes with it. I try not to.
Yeah, generally speaking, I don't bother. Occasionally, it's the same price for like the special edition or whatever. Or I don't buy things for like figurines or anything like that. I have a rather minimalist sort of house, I suppose. So that sort of thing would get put in the bin because clutter isn't really allowed. I kind of fight the power on that one by leaving stuff around all over the place.
Is that how the cat hair got there? Right.
Fuck's sake. Leave the cat hair alone.
That's what she's... Never mind.
There were a couple of times where I'm trying to think for a good example. I think it was Dark Souls. Or was it Demon Souls? One of those I bought the Super Collector's Edition.
Demon Souls. It was, yeah.
And it had like all the soundtrack and stuff, and I kind of felt like that was a bit of a waste. Soundtrack was alright, but... It
usually is a bit of a waste.
It was, yeah.
I think the most expensive Collector's Edition I bought was the Diablo 3 one. But I mean, it came with Diablo 1 too, for goodness sake, and it came with a very, very impressive book. It's like a ridiculously well done book.
I've just figured out what the most expensive one I ever bought was, but I can't remember how much I paid. But the Warhammer Age of Reckoning one that I bought.
Oh, yeah, that was a very fancy.
That was a big, massive, like very sort of hard cardboard sort of box essentially. That within that you got like mouse mat, limited edition miniatures. You got an art book. There was a graphic novel that was in there, and the games.
How many times did you read it, though? How many times did you read it?
I haven't. But what I did was, to save space when we moved, I chucked most of it away, but I kept the novel, and I kept the miniature.
You kept the ones that you think will retain some form of value?
No, maybe. Ones that I might, like... I'm a hoarder. I hoard things.
I am a bad hoarder as well.
So it's very difficult for me to fight that nature.
Yeah, I can't part with all those bodies in my basement.
That pile of skin under your bed.
Yeah. Well, that's going to be a pretty suit eventually.
So he also goes on to say, P.S. Dead Space 3 has a co-op, which if either of you are interested in, would make, I think, for an interesting Let's Play.
Stop reading his emails so badly when they're so well written.
Sometimes the commas are missing from places they should be, so that's why the sentence doesn't make sense.
Tut. We obviously have played Dead Space 3 and we've talked about it now. So we have kind of covered that also.
We did. So, yeah, thanks very much for a fairly lengthy email, rather than somebody slapping 3 words together that generally doesn't make any sense. I'm looking at you, Noodles.
That's mean. Did Noodles send one in this time?
No.
He deserved it then.
Busy dancing with girls.
Dancing with himself.
So, yes, thank you, Slimeass.
Next.
The next one is a bit of a strange one because it says it's from Itachi Williams, but there's no content to the actual email. But the subject says, I always ask good questions, getting a new PS3 in February, maybe we can link. So, this is
That's all in the subject.
Yeah, this is more for me to say, thanks for trying to send us an email.
Thanks for sending an email. Please next time put something in it.
Could you put something in the content next time, rather than pointing out that this was sent with the Samsung Galaxy Exhilarate trademark, an AT&T 4G LTE smartphone.
If it was sent from a smartphone, maybe it messed up. We can't automatically assume it was him.
Yeah, maybe the phone thought it was smart and it would send an email on his behalf. That would be a smart thing to do.
Yeah, but it isn't the phone's fault that didn't contain much of a question other than maybe linking up PS3s, which we're never really on.
Maybe want to link up PS3s?
I said that to a girl once and I was slapped.
On to the next email. There is another, this time from Rory Belmont. I don't think he has a pseudonym at the bottom. No, he doesn't, so that's fine.
He does not.
My phone just identifies people by the name that their email address is registered against, so...
So if they use a pseudonym, you would just see that?
Yeah, I don't see the pseudonym until I get to the bottom where they've signed off. Anyway. Hello, Flik and Blighty. This one's titled Next Gen Systems.
Yes.
I've only started listening to your podcasts fairly recently, and I'm currently working my way through them all, trying to get caught up. That's good. That's very good. You'll be there a while. Somebody once tried to tally up how long it would take, and that was about a year ago, and they said it was a very, very long...
for pure hours, yeah. 43 times an average of, say, 1.3 hours, yes.
It might take you a while. Good luck.
Yeah.
Don't... go on a killing spree or do anything stupid. We don't want a bad reputation.
Not after the last guy.
No, not yeah. That guy actually never. He was the guy that we needed to kill with the car crash, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think we succeeded.
Oh, whoops.
Yeah.
Anyway, not fully caught up yet, but I did have a question that came to mind from an older podcast that I wanted to ask before I forgot. I'll probably be caught up by the time you release your new one. Well, we'll soon find out. Nope. But if you did go through this one in one of those. If you did go through this in one of the ones I haven't gotten to yet, then I'll just blame Flik.
Yes, he usually does.
That's good. I usually blame you.
Yeah, everybody does. It's fine.
Anyway, the talk of the next-gen systems possibly not allowing the use of used games. I assume it's still only a possibility and hasn't been confirmed. No, denied as of yet. And no, I'm not going to check for myself, since if I'm wrong, I'll have nothing to ask about. That's how you do things. That's how you get shit done.
You ask other people. You expect it of other people.
Don't do any investigation yourself. Make up facts. Honestly, it gets you far in this world.
It's known as the Kotaku principle.
It is.
Mm. Although the mistake here is asking people who also follow that same way of thinking. We're not going to look it up.
There hasn't actually been any real concrete information that's been dropped, per se, on the next-gen consoles. The only concrete information is they will exist. Because
there is some leaked stats of the PlayStation 4.
Yeah, they're not necessarily official, though, so it's not concrete.
No, but it does point that this year, finally, E3, that will actually be about games and consoles that matter.
See. Okay, so what are your opinions on the addition of this feature? So, not being able to trade in games because people won't buy them?
I would kill the person responsible and feel no remorse.
It seems a bit stupid because it means that there's no second-hand market. They kill off something that's existed since the start of gaming, really. I mean,
as I've said before, it gives too much power to the creators of the games, and they are people who cannot be given more power than they already have. Because you'll get like a Games Workshop situation. For those who don't know, they are a model company who have pretty much a single share dominance in a market and a market niche, so they can charge outrageous prices because they have no competition. In game retailing, if it's all digital or no second hand or no need for street retail, publishers can charge whatever they like without fear of competition because they can all collude and just bleed everyone dry.
Yep, and it'll happen. And
it will happen. It's going that way. The more things go online, the higher prices things will go, the poorer people will get, then their stray will die online as well, and the world will end.
Isn't that a pleasant? I was trying to say pleasant.
This is a pleasant
thought. Pleasant?
If anyone wants to play a drinking game with this podcast, take a shot every time you hear my phone making a noise because it's Twitter.
Or every time I mispronounce something.
A collusion of 14-year-old Portuguese girls want to know how old I am. That is not good.
You're going to get arrested.
Yeah, I've told them I'm immortal, though, so that should cover it.
Oh. So
it hasn't, though, because they're answering. They're still asking. They want to know exactly. I should tell them I'm 60. I'll get rid of them.
Tell them you're 6.
I am 60 years old.
Okay, so as we go on through this email, personally, I hope they don't actually follow through with it. While I normally buy games new when I can, I don't always have the disposable cash to buy games as soon as they come out. There have often been times where I go to buy a game I've been wanting, and getting it used is my only option. Since games aren't published indefinitely, some have fewer copies published than others. If used games are no longer an option, then I'm already fairly certain that there are going to be several games I won't have the chance to play, especially since the new systems are definitely going to be absurdly expensive. You can guarantee that. And
I would guarantee about $700 for whatever the next PlayStation equivalent is, yeah.
Which should be about £350 for us.
But it won't be. It'll be about $400 or $500, yes.
Probably. Anyway, new systems are going to be expensive, and many games will have come and gone by the time I'd even be able to afford one. Now, I'm fully aware that you can download games from the online stores, but they don't even have every game available for download for the systems we have now.
Yeah, and those they charge way too much for.
Oh, yeah. You're talking about paying £20 for a game that's, 3-4 years old.
Or a PlayStation 1 game for like £15.
Yeah, it's a bit harsh. And I don't imagine that they'll be willing to spend the time and money making every single game available for download on the new systems either. Even if by some miracle they cared enough for the gamers to put the effort and expenses into making each and every game available for download, if gamers are forced to rely on downloading in order to have access to the games they want after all the hard copies have been bought, it's sure to be a crippling blow to game retailers who gain no benefit from downloading games, save for the minimal profit earned from selling points cards, which is even more minimal considering they can be bought from most any convenience store.
Yes.
So... yeah, I mean, we've talked at length about like having physical hard copies of things. We like to touch stuff. I like to touch things with my hands.
Innuendo.
I do like to have the hard. I like to have the hard copy of things. I don't so much like. I remember reading a news piece, in fact, about like what happens to your CD collection now, because people have got like say an iTunes account. They don't have CD collections, right? In the past, your records or CDs or whatever, when you die, those things exist as your personal belongings. You've paid for those. You've collected all that stuff. They get divvied out between your family or whatever, or they get sold on. People make money out of it. But what happens with your iTunes account? Because if you've got the password and stuff in your head, it just vanishes. Yes?
Yeah.
So you've nothing to leave on to the next.
You mean it's not a tangible asset for anyone other than yourself, basically.
Exactly.
Good.
Well, I suppose it depends what you've been downloading.
As far as I'm aware, you can't download porn on iTunes, but maybe you can.
You might want to leave your kids your giant porn stash. I don't know. Anyway,
dear kids, here, have some porn. Lol.
I've actually heard of people that have bought like porn for their kids and put them in their like stockings and stuff for Christmas. I don't mean like children. I mean like people that have come of age, where rather than being given like a tangerine and some Lego, they've been given like a skin
mask. Happy 5th birthday. Here's Buck Bandits 5.
God. Oh. We've got like some seriously warped minds.
It comes with being in this country.
Yeah, you have to find some way to pass the time.
Is that the end of his email?
Nope, it continues. Anyway, I've blathered on long enough.
Yes, you have.
I think the idea is selfish and greedy, which only benefits Sony and Microsoft. It harms gamers and retailers. Wait,
Sony and Microsoft? Excuse me, they're not the only ones doing it. Mr. Forgets Nintendo conveniently. Because he thinks I'm biased to Nintendo, you see. This is someone I know.
Oh, right, okay.
They don't like that I'm apparently biased against Nintendo, and yeah, pretty much am. I hate them now.
I would probably say that the irony there, right, is that Nintendo's at the bottom of your list now, whereas Nintendo was what you grew up with, more or less.
Yes,
you were.
I was their biggest fan for many years.
I was a Sega kid growing up and had no interest.
So now you're Nintendo's bitch.
So, well, I have no interest in either now, really.
Oh. Sad face.
They can go on about it for being, all anti-piracy for all they want, but like you mentioned before, hackers always find a way. What's your take on it? And it's like, well, it's just it's companies making money. It's just companies making money, and they'll always find ways to make more money and try to plug the little gaps that spring up with people pirating things or copying things or loaning things and. DRM, it's just going to keep getting worse, all this stuff.
It pretty much is just going to keep getting worse, yeah.
So you just have to, get the lube out, stick it up your ass, and just prepare for it, really.
Yeah, you can pretty much apply that to every life lesson. Just apply lube and take it.
P.S. I'm curious if Flik is able to guess who this really is without looking at the email address. I don't have my hopes too high, though, since he's quite bad at guessing. That's my last hint. Yeah,
well, you let me see that email when you first got it last weekend, and I did guess prior to seeing the email who it was.
That's true.
You can attest to that? Yes, you can.
Yeah, you did, yes.
I also knew about him implying I was biased against Nintendo. I've already got my revenge as well, and it's quite funny. Would you like to hear what it is?
Yes, I would.
It's very funny. I bought him Dreadmore.
You're sick.
And then the next day he wasn't online. And then the day after that, I called him online, and I said, how come you weren't around yesterday? It wasn't because you were up all night playing Dreadmore, was it? He called me a bastard.
Oh, that's what you do for your enemies. You buy them Dreadmore. That's what you do to people.
I had fun. Share the affliction.
We should like run some sort of competition for a gift copy of Dreadmore or something for someone.
Want to be our enemy? Want to hate us? We'll buy you Dreadmore. So that concludes that. Does that conclude the email section?
That's a full email section this week.
That is a full email section, and we apologise for all the innuendo.
I apologise for nothing.
Okay. No. But that is usually the stance you should go with.
Technically, there was like another message. It wasn't actually done as an email, but it was through the Facebook. We had a message.
All right.
Kwiku Edu, who said, will Blighty be playing Batman in the new Justice League movie? And if so, what superhero are you, Flik?
Well, technically the second part doesn't matter compared to the first part. Are you going to be playing Batman in the new Justice League movie?
I have a NDA that I've signed that I can't disclose any information.
Damn. What superhero would I be? I would probably be a supervillain. Not one of those pussy ones that always gets caught, though. I'd be like one that murders everybody. I don't know any villains, and especially not in the Justice League universe. I wouldn't be any of the heroes.
Within the context of the Justice League movie, then, would Wonder Woman, maybe?
Yeah, why not? I'm Wonder Woman.
I'm going to use that as my text alert tone now.
Your text alert?
Yeah, I'm going to get it changed. I'm Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman. Oh, God. So, thanks for...
Thanks for the message on Facebook.
And, anybody that hasn't realised yet, we do have a Facebook page. We spam it with all sorts of weird and wonderful things.
We're trying to use it more.
We are trying to use it more. It'll, let people know what we're up to. If you want to find out, links to new videos that are going up on YouTube, the podcast can actually be played through that now as well. If you're, not doing it through YouTube or not doing it through iTunes or whatever you crazy kids are doing these days.
Well, by judging by that newspaper article, sleeping with each other.
Don't bring that up again. That's horrible. That's absolutely disturbing.
I have 3 notes left.
Okay.
3. Do you have any?
No, I think I've covered everything off.
Oh, no. Well, the first one is that there's no demo of Tomb Raider.
Any reason why?
Well, there's a real reason, and then there's the reason they gave. So which would you prefer?
Do you want the piece of shit, or do you want the piece of shit with sugar on it?
Or would you like the subtext of the PR bullshit?
Let's hear the PR bullshit first.
They don't want to spoil the story. The subtext, they don't want people to think the story is bad.
Yeah.
Or potentially not something they thought it would be, judging on what has been shown so far.
They want people to shell out like 40 quid for the game without having
We want you to buy the game before you think whether or not it's something you'll like, which is bad. It's just bad. I am always very dubious of a game that doesn't do a demo. Yes. Especially if they give very thinly veiled reasons.
I've discussed this at length in the past. I used to play, I was playing with PCs before you kind of sort of dropped into the PC realm a bit.
Yeah, I was pretty much consoles.
I did an awful lot of games that came shareware discs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember shareware. I think you probably do. Maybe.
I was too busy playing Dizzy on my Commodore 64.
Shareware discs where you had, in some instances, you would have had almost up to half the bloody game. And then you paid a few bucks extra, and you got the full deal. And
or the more modern version is how PSN Plus does it.
But that whole thing just seems to have faded away to the point now where demos are getting shorter with less content and less actually showing off the game, and more just give you the tiniest little taste that doesn't really give you a proper gauge of whether it'll be any good or not.
That Dead Space 3 demo was 2 gig, and we got 40 minutes of gameplay, 10 minutes of which was us trying to work out how to do the last room in it.
There is that. That. It didn't really give the game away about whether it would be any good. The combat felt a bit, chunky, if that's a word. It
didn't give enough. It didn't give nearly enough. No. It was pretty much the E3 demo, I think.
And so my reaction to that is, no, I'm just going to pass on that.
Yeah, I'm very dubious of getting Tomb Raider because of that. Also, the achievement list is out, and it's got a multiplayer mode.
What?
As in a versus multiplayer mode, because most of the achievements are for the multiplayer mode. Well, not most, but let's say a third. A third of them are. So, yeah, they've kept that under wraps, but that's not the kind of game I would say needs a multiplayer mode.
No, definitely not.
So it stinks of tacked on multiplayer to fill another bullet point on the back.
For more DLC options.
And easy DLC options. Skins
just
for the multiplayer.
Keep skins on maps, yeah.
And most of the data will be on the disc. Do you remember last time Noodles asked that question of us and we didn't really have a on-the-spot answer?
This horror, something that wasn't a horror game that made you...
Something that provoked fear but wasn't necessarily meant as such.
Yes.
Upon listening to the last podcast, I actually noticed that I accidentally had an answer for it prior to us reading out his rushed email.
Okay.
It was the characters in Dishonored looking like spitting image puppets. I found that freaky.
Oh, yeah.
And they're not meant to be freaky, so that is a perfect example of the kind of thing he was meaning. I couldn't think of any other examples, unfortunately, and you didn't remember at all, so I know you haven't.
Some of us have got full-time jobs to do. Full-time jobs and full-time girlfriends.
Yeah, she has a full-time girlfriend.
Yep. She's not part-time.
Not like that.
She's got to earn her wages. She's not in the room. She's not in the room.
Okay. No assaulting until editing time. That won't make it by the censor. She's the censor.
I'll do that with the headphones on.
Oh, okay.
The
very last thing on my list is something we didn't have time to fit in last time, which was that I finally played with a Kinect.
Oh, right, okay. This was around the time that you started getting back into Rocksmith, so your arms and hands and fingers.
I made the horrible mistake of playing lots of Rocksmith, then playing Kinect for about an hour, and the next day my body was just dead. I could barely move. So as an exercise tool, I think the Kinect is probably better than the Wii and the Wii Fit, because you're not limited to things you can do on a little step. I mean, I was jumping around and dashing.
No. See, even the Wii doesn't revolve just on that little step, because I've got like the Wii Sports Resort and so on for it. It doesn't. No, there's like boxing and stuff like that.
How does it register jumping?
The motion has like the controller that you're holding in your hands. You can do like long distance jogging, where you just jog on the spot and as you're moving. But you could cheat by sitting on a seat and just shaking your hand,
and then you become better at masturbating.
Exactly.
So that's the real reason for doing it. So the Wii teaches you bad things, see?
It does teach you bad habits, teaches you how to wank.
Okay, so maybe it's not better than, but also equally as good as for exercise, I would say. It has really bad recognition. I was surprised how bad it was. It's very cumbersome to navigate using your hands, which must be why they put in the voice stuff, although I couldn't get the voice thing to work. I kept on saying Xbox pause, Xbox menu, it wasn't doing anything. It didn't help that I didn't know which commands it responded to, but I knew from reading news on it that it responds to Xbox and then the command. But no, I couldn't get that to work.
Did you try Xbox Explode?
When I got frustrated with it, I did say Xbox fuck off.
I'm sorry, I don't know how to Xbox fuck off.
So some of the minigames, I tried a sports game for some kind of thing. I had boxing, bowling, and table tennis, volleyball, that kind of thing. Some of the sports worked really well. Like, I found the bowling was very good.
Bowling on the Wii Sports is very good as well. I played a lot of that.
You see, this is the thing. I think the Kinect actually cheats, and this is the reason I wanted to bring it up. I think the reason those work, those sports in particular, is because you don't need a lot of motion tracking to do it.
No.
You just need to register when the hand is moved forward, for example.
Yep.
So when it came to things like table tennis, the recognition was just all over the place, totally wrong. And I noticed that if I just moved a tiny bit, the avatar on screen just went full swing. So basically, it seemed like the Kinect was set to just detect the minimal amount of movement and then trigger a full movement on screen to make it look like it's reacting, because it doesn't assume that you'll just move a little bit and pretend you're going to do a full motion. It assumes that you're playing along and doing it for real, which creates the facade that it's doing what you're doing. But at least in my limited experience with it, only once, I might try again, see if I'm wrong. I think it cheats, I think.
I didn't find as many issues like that when playing like the limited things I did on the Wii. Like I've got the Wii Sports, is it Resort Plus or whatever? I can't remember. One of them comes with like basically they decided that the initial Wii remote wasn't sensitive enough.
Right.
So the next sort of sports game came out with like a little like bumper thing you put in the bottom, which made it slightly more sensitive so that you could play some of the games. There's some quite good ones, like there's an archery one and stuff on there, which is quite fun, but obviously not fun enough that I haven't played these things in God knows how long.
I thought your Wii was relegated because it dared to be white.
Yes, there is that as well. The Wii is in a different... Well, you've seen the setup in the living room now. They'd be out of place.
You say that, and yet you bought a bloody orange couch. I'm never going to stop going on about that. That orange couch is terrible.
That orange couch is going to feature if we ever do a video podcast, which I'm still trying to broach with you at the moment. We're in discussion.
we're in discussion. It won't be an hour long if we do it that way. That's
Fuck no.
I can't sit still for an hour. During the podcast, I'm standing and walking around.
Really? I sit
sometimes,
still.
Yeah.
I sit still. I don't have an option when I'm sitting in this seat.
Well, I think.
Let us know if you think that'd be a good idea. So give me more ammunition. See whether or not it's something that we can.
Let us know on Facebook. See, I'm deliberately adding another hoop to jump through, so don't bother.
Get on Facebook. It'll be fun. Just search for Bringo Hurty when you're on Facebook. You'll find us. We're the only one there. I know this because I searched for it this morning.
And we've killed our competition.
And we did, yeah.
They thought they could make the Hurty go brains, but no, they could not.
No, definitely not.
And the
dogs enjoyed their entrails.
They did, yeah. And the brines go hurtling. They just disappeared in an explosion.
Yep. We had nothing to do with that one, honest.
No, I did. I hired some guys. I know a guy.
Did you hire ninjas? Did you hire?
I hired these ninjas from that website. They said they wouldn't do that kind of thing, but apparently if you grease the wheel enough...
After you bought them enough martinis, they were away with.
Enough martinis and ramen noodles. Those two mixed together. Make a big martini, put some noodles in it, shake it up a little bit, and you've got yourself a meal and a drink.
Like Guinness.
Does that have a pork pie in it? It's like an Irish meal. Oh dear. I think that concludes this podcast.
I think it does. So we've gone from pussy hair to Sonic giving Mario a blowjob to killing off the entire competition, and now we're going to go and do something different.
It's pretty much the average Essex night, that. Except we didn't get any 12-year-olds pregnant.
And we didn't come home with a kebab.
Or insult Turkey. No, Istanbul.
Istanbul.
With Jabba the Hutt's palace.
Wookiee nipple in